Yo, welcome again, my good people. This is your boy Dr. Candos in the building, aka the humble trader. I know it's been a while you've heard my voice or any of my videos, right? Yeah. So I decided to take a break so I can focus on one or two personal stuff. And I think now I'm done so I can focus on the charts. So if you have missed me, I'm still coming out with different golden nuggets. Trust me. What you've seen previously was just a warm-up. So if you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. Let's move on. So today I got you covered with the best strategy to trade Tesla. Most of you have been on my DM. I've been sharing my results on Tesla, the analysis on Tesla, and so on. So people have been asking me, Dr. Candos, how do you trade Tesla? A lot of people don't even know Tesla can be traded. Yes, we actually trade Tesla. Make money with Tesla. So a lot of people have been asking, how do you trade Tesla? So if you really want to know the strategy behind Tesla, this strategy, trust me, you will not get it anywhere. No one will ever teach you this strategy. Only Dr. Candos, only on this channel, trust me, and I'm going to share it to you for free. So without wasting my time, let me move on to the topic of the day. So Tesla itself is an automotive and energy company that develops, manufacture, and then sell fully electronic vehicles. So Tesla itself is a company that usually deals in those electronic vehicles. They are known by their electronic vehicles. So this company is also an asset that has been listed in the forex market that forex traders can trade. So it's a tradable asset on the forex market. Although not all the brokers trade Tesla, but most of those popular brokers like Hotforex, Xnet, they usually trade Tesla. So if you don't have a broker that trade Tesla, you can sign up onto Hotforex or Xnet via the link. I'm gonna share their link under the comment section, so you can also sign up and then trade Tesla. So just like I said, Tesla is an automotive and then energy company. They develop and then sell those electronic vehicles. So because of their mode of operation or because of the way they came up with, I always say this is a company that will grow fast. So the market for fully electronic vehicles is growing each and every day. The reason being is that globally, technology is advancing each and every day. So people like to move on from that vehicles that are using petrol and then diesel to electronic vehicles. So trust me, this is a company that will grow till. So when it started on the forex market, you realize that the movement wasn't all that steady until when people start to believe the product, and now all you see on that asset is totally bullish. There is always a saying, or from the law of demand and supply, let me put it that way. When there is an increase in demand for a particular product, you realize that the price for that product or that asset or that company will go high. The same way, if there's an increase in supply for a particular product or asset, you realize that the price of that asset will start dropping. You see, so when we listed Tesla in the forex market, you realize that it has been bullish for some time. I think it has been bullish since let me go back here and see. Tesla has been bullish. Okay, so it started the bullish trend since 21st October 2019. So it started the new bullish trend 21st October 2019. So till now it has been bullish. So the first thing you need to take note is whenever you want to trade Tesla, always go bullish. That is the first thing you need to put in mind, because this is a fast growing company where there is a lot of demand. And remember, whenever there's an increase in demand, the price of that assets will what? Continue to rise up. So this is just a background, but let me now move on to the strategy behind trading Tesla. I know most of you are waiting for that. So the strategy behind trading what? Tesla. For you to be able to trade Tesla successfully, you need to take note of these 5 key things. So if you are holding a paper and a pen, kindly jot them down. So the first one is the trend of the market. So the first one is the trend. Let me put it here. Trend. That is the first one. Let me change the color to black. So the first one is the trend of the market. That is the first one. You need to check the trend, whether the trend is an up. I will come back into this, but let me give you the second one. And then the second one is a gap formation. There must also be a gap formation. I will discuss gap in details. And the third one is a massive movement. Massive movement. So massive movement. Let me just shortcut it. And the fourth one is a proper. So the fourth one is to identify supply and demand zone. That is the fourth one. And the fifth is a retracement. A retracement. A retracement. Let me shortcut that one too. Let me this one. And a retracement. So the first thing you need to identify is the trend of the market. Whether the market is a bullish market or a bearish market. You don't trade Tesla when market is ranging. Make sure that there is what? An increase in the market. Market should be going up. Market should be going up like this. Or market should be moving down. Creating a level of lower low and then what? Lower high. So you don't trade Tesla when the market is what? Ranging. Like this. Neither going up or down. Neither going up or down. So you don't trade Tesla when the market is forming this level. I hope you understand. If you really want to know how to identify a trending market and a ranging market, I think I have a video there. I will also drop that link under this video description so you can learn it. So you don't trade Tesla on a ranging market. You always what? Trade Tesla on what? A ranging market. Now still on the trend. Now when you are trading Tesla, remember to always follow the trend. The trend should always be your friend. If the current trend of a Tesla market is an uptrend, you make sure that whatever you do, you should be looking for a bullish signal. Any bearish signal you see that will tempt you, just ignore it and wait patiently for a bullish signal. I hope that is clear. So that is it for what? The trend of the market. So we are done with the trend. Now the next thing you need to look out for is a gap formation. A lot of you might not know what is meant by a gap. So when I say gap is when a candlestick gap from its current price to a different price. leaving a space like this, a space like that, a space like this, a space like that. We call them gaps. They are gaps. They are created as a result of some massive supply or demand in the market. I hope that is clear. So the next thing to check is what? The gap. The gap is your next indication. Now, after identifying your trend, you now identify a gap in the market. Then the third thing to now check is a massive movement. Now, there must be a massive movement after the formation of a gap. And this massive movement should go in the direction of the gap. So assuming if the gap is to the upside, then the massive movement that will form afterwards should be what? To the upside. If the gap is to the downside, the massive movement should always be to what? To the downside. Don't worry, I'll go on to the chart and I'll explain all this in details. But I'm just trying to touch on some few things before we go on to the chart. And then the next thing, after identifying a trend, a gap, and then a massive movement, now you need to what? To draw a proper supply and demand zone. Trust me when I say proper supply and demand zone, not just any supply and demand zone, but what? Proper tradable supply and demand zone. If you don't know how to draw proper supply and demand zone, then you have to hit my DM. I have a whole tutorials explaining everything about demand and supply. Everything about demand and supply. I named that course the bank trading strategy. If you really want to learn that course, hit my DM. That course is actually a paid course, but this is free. So if you really want to learn that, you can hit me up and then I will teach you that. But for this one, you can learn the normal supply and demand zone and still be profitable. Okay, so you need to what? Identify a proper supply and demand zone. Then now you wait patiently for market to retrace to that supply or demand zone. Then you can now pick your trade. So simple, right? Like the strategy is so simple. Nothing to complicate things. I always like to make things simple for my students to understand. At the end of the day, if I complicate things and you don't understand, you guys will still ask me questions. That is why I've made this so simple. All you need is to identify a trend, a gap formation, a massive movement in the direction of the gap, a proper supply and demand zone, a retracement. Then you now what? Pick your entry at the what? Zone. So now let us now move all this into action. That is moving them into the charts to see how we can make it profitable. Now, looking at this market, you realize that this market has been going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So this is what? An obvious what? Ranging market. Any market you see without a direction, we call it a ranging market. You don't trade Tesla when it is what? Ranging, but you rather what? Wait for the market to start what? Trending. I hope that is so. If you realize, you see, since around here, Tesla has been ranging. It ranged for a whole year. I think, yeah, it ranged for a whole year before what? Picking a new direction. As you can see, this is what a new trend Tesla is picking. You see, started what? It break through that ranging market, started creating what? A level of higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, like that, creating a lot of the higher high and then higher low like that. I hope that is clear. So now our first thing has been attained, which is the trend. Now we have identified a trending market, and this trending market is a what? An uptrend market. The next thing to what? To look up for is a gap. The next thing to look out for is a gap. Whether the market has gap up or down. Has the market gap up or down? Gap. Oh, let me correct this. Sorry guys. So what I mean is the gap. I call it the gap. Yeah. So the next thing to check is the gap or the gap. Whether market has created a gap. So just by identifying a new trend, then now you can what? Check on gap. So as you can see, there is a gap here, there is some gap here, there is some gap here, there's some gap here, another gap here in the market. So now we have identified a gap in the market. So that is our next thing. Then identifying a gap is so simple. Just something like this, they are all gaps. Then now you now check for a massive movement. After the formation of the gap, has there been any massive movement? So you see, after the formation of this gap, market trended up, down like that, created a new gap, and then went up massively. So in a nutshell, you can say this whole movement is a massive movement. So this whole movement is a massive movement. So anytime there is, so once market has created this gap, a new gap like this, so anytime market retrace to that level, you have an idea that there is something that is going to go on. So there's a massive movement. So the next thing to check is to draw your zone, which is the what? The supply and demand zone. So just like I draw, so this is what? A nice demand zone. So I drew the zone by taking the candlestick that form before what? The gap. So over here the same thing. I took the candlestick that form before the gap. You see, I drew the zone by taking the candlestick that form before what? The gap. I hope that is clear. So that is it. So after checking what? After drawing your zones, the next thing to do is to wait patiently for market to retrace into that zone. Then it can take a while. Trust me, it can take for a week or something, or days for market to retrace back to that zone. Then you can confidently what? Take a trade. So let's consider this market. So even though we draw a gap here, another one here, another one here, another one here, and so on and so forth, but you realize that after this gap formation, after this gap formation, market moved massively. You see, market moves massively up there, came back and tested that area. So, and tested this demand zone. Over here, you can confidently what? Pick a trade. I hope that is clear. You see how market reacted after what? Tapping into that demand zone. So that is one trade you can what? Actually pick. The second one is, you see, when market break through this, definitely it is targeting a new gap. But trust me, this was the origin. This was the origin of the move. The reason why this gap is so important to me is that this market was ranging. It has been ranging for a whole year before what? Breaking through that level. You see, market range. When you backtest back, you realize that this market was ranging for a whole year before it break through this level. So this level is an important level. I hope that is clear. Even though market created small gaps, but this is so important because market break through an important level before what? Going to that direction. I hope that is clear. So when you draw a zone around that area with the gap, you know that whenever market test that area, just applying the BTC principle, you know that this zone is a powerful zone. So definitely market is going to react to it. So these are the trades you can take with what? A huge margin, huge risk reward ratio. So just imagine you took this trade. This will be like 1:, zoom in. So if you are targeting here, this can be like 1:7 risk to reward ratio. So massive. I hope that is clear. Now you realize that there are a whole lot of gap formation here. Now what you're gonna do is you need to ignore all these gaps. You ignore it because we still have what? A new formation. We still have a new level to be breaking. So market has to break this new level. Market has to break this new level before you can consider the new gap market will create. I hope that is clear. So market has to break this new level before you can consider the new level market will create. So if you bear with me, you realize that over here market break this level, but market didn't give us a massive movement. So we could have drawn our what? Demand zone here, even though market respected that zone and went up, but this won't be a proper trade because there wasn't any massive movement. So I always expect to see a massive movement just like this. I hope that is clear for us to pick trade with a huge margin. So let me go up small and then see if I can identify other gaps. So you see now market went up, created a new gap. So over here you can draw what? A demand zone. So these are all possible demand zone markets may react to. And this is another one. I've done it, and then another one too here. You see, after this gap, market move up. See a whole lot of zones. So another one here, gap. So this is an uptrend market. So that is why I'm solely focusing on the what? Demand zone. Other than that, you see a lot of what? Supply zones you could have picked trades. But because it is not in line with the zone, what we do is that we ignore it. I hope that is clear. So we only focus on what? The demand zone, the one that is mainly focused on the trend. If you realize that market created a gap here, you could have drawn what? A supply zone here. Then what? Pick a trade here. That played out. However, because we are trading in the direction of the trend, we always ignore what? Any supply zone. Just like I explained to you, Tesla has been trending up. Me, I will never sell Tesla for anything. I'll never sell it. All I'll be looking out for is a buy. You can go ahead and sell Tesla. You can make money. However, for me personally, I won't sell Tesla until I see a clear downtrend. Tesla is what? For me. But for now, I won't sell Tesla. So all my zones, if you see, they are all what? Demand zone. So I'll be waiting for a clear gap formation. I'll draw a zone. Whenever market retrace back to that zone, fine. If it doesn't retrace, I don't care. So you see, market never retrace. I'm still me waiting. Market never retrace. I'm still me, but it created a new one. I draw it. You see, so that is how you see. So over here, this is another profitable trade I took, and then I made a lot of money. That is as at 2020. Yeah. So this was another trade, very nice, perfect trade. A huge massive movement here. You see, huge massive movement here that break through this level. This was the level. Market break through this level with this huge, created a gap. So created our what? Demand zone. You see, waited patiently. You see, when market tap into that zone, you see how massive it went. You see how massive it went. So if you are taking a trade like this will be like 1:, if let's say you are targeting even up to this level. I just want to check the risk to reward ratio of this trade, assuming we want to take it. So this will be like 1:6, even if you are targeting the first level, which is the first drop here. I hope that is clear. But if you are going to the extent market got to, which is here, you should be around 1:10 or 20. So this will be like 1:11. Yeah, so that is it. So I remember I took my trade to this level because of this supply zone. I hope that is clear. So that is Tesla for you. So now, if you want to pick a new trade, what you do is that you ignore all these chaffs. All these are chaffs. Market is still what? Ranging until you see what? A clear market that breaks through this level. You see, I just spotted a new market that break through this level. I drew my zone, now waiting for market to test it. The market never tested. It created a new one again. See how market reacted, came back exactly at that zone, then boom, boom. So that is how massive. So even though I took this trade, but when you consider from here to here, you realize that the movement was so massive. So you could have taken a next trade here. But if you are using the BTS concept, this will be a weak zone because it's not more fresh. It has been tested here. But if you want to trade with Tesla, which is checking out with checking for the massive movement in the direction of the gap, you realize there was a huge movement. There was a massive movement. This is so massive from here to here. So this is so massive. It's so massive. So definitely when market approach that area, you can pick a trade. Now you realize that there is a gap here. There is a gap here to the downside. And there was a massive movement to the downside. You see, if you draw a supply zone, this will have been a very nice trade you could have picked. But however, because it is against the trend, I will never pick it. Because I have been trading an uptrend with Tesla for some time now because of the current trend of Tesla. So you see, this is a gap, massive movement, demand zone, market came there, boom. See how it is. So that is basically how you can trade Tesla successfully. You see another ranging market here. See another ranging market here. Market created a gap, then a huge movement came back. You see how it's reacted. So that is it. So let me just go on to the trade I gave. I think when did I give this trade? I think I gave this trade before the Xmas break. This was a trade I gave my mentees before the Xmas break. Thank you. This was a trade. So let me just replay it here. I think I gave them before the Xmas break, right? Yeah. I'll go to the mentorship page and then find the setup for you guys. So I'll just drop the setup for you to see. There is nothing. I don't force things. These are things I do. I hope you understand. So this was a huge move, a gap formation. So the trend was an uptrend. There was a clear gap formation here, followed by a massive movement in the direction of the gap. I created a very nice demand zone. I was here waiting for the market patiently. Market dropped to this area. Over here, I took my entry here. This was where I took my entry. I'll show you guys. In fact, even people who use 0.01 made almost $300. So if you are calculating it based on pips, that would be like 3,000 pips from our entry. That would be like 3,000 pips from our entry. But if you are calculating it based on points, my brother, you can't even calculate because it's so massive. I hope that is clear. So this was the setup. There was no magic. It's the same concept applied here. So market came there, exactly reacted to that zone. reacted to that zone because of the huge movement and the gap here. See how market entered into the area and started trending up. This was a breakthrough for a lot. This was the Christmas bonanza I gave my mentees. Remember, I told you I don't share signals. I don't give signals. But once in a blue moon, I try to share some nice setups to my mentees so that they can also take advantage. It's not something I do always, but once in a blue moon, I just do it. And then trust me, this was the Xmas bonanza I gave them, and it was so lovely. Those who took advantage need money, trust me. So that was just by the way. If you really like this video, kindly hit the subscribe button. Let me see your comment under this video description. Let me see your comment. After this video, once this video go viral, I'm gonna do a strategy. I'm going to reveal my strategy on US 30. The strategy I use on US 30. So thank you guys for your time. Peace out.